There is a fine line between love and illusion, a fine place to penetrate. It's right here with us discussing the lyrics of Between Sun and Moon by Rush.
Every Rush song.
Which I happen to think is a fun song.
It's fun. It's fun. It's not, I wouldn't say it's their most fun song,
It's
but
their
it's
most
fun.
fun song. That'll be, maybe we'll do that episode soon. Fun Rush songs. Happy, fun. Maybe not happy, just fun Rush songs.
Happy fun Rush show.
Well, I guess a lot of it was the work of Pai Dubois. We found out last week that Pai Dubois has there's a lake between sun and moon, and a lot of the lyrics from this song came from that. Tim, will you ask Jay what he thinks the song is about? Because
yeah, Shane, I'll do that.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, Jay, I was just wondering. What do you think the lyrics are about?
Well, good job, Tim. What they're about is... I'm just kidding.
I think it's your typical Rush song with the people and the places. But
and you really don't understand just what the hell is going on.
But I will say that here's what I get out of it. And I thought this was kind of cool. Is like, basically, I just wrote down, ain't life good? Earth is mostly water, so it's the lake between the sun and the moon.
Oh, see, I thought you were about to say something funny, but that's good. I like it. Wow.
Now, I also like the line about penetration. Fine place to penetrate the gap between an actor and an act. What does that mean to you?
The space between wishes and facts.
Is that your favorite line, Jeff? We know that anything that's going to be even close to being dirty is going to be Jay's favorite. That might have been why I used the penetrate line at the intro. Did it all for you, Jay.
Thank you, sir.
Because Jay loves penetration. Oops, should have added that.
I mean, it's not a lie.
It's not a lie.
So,
probably shouldn't say it though.
I mean, I got that part about basically all I know. The only thing I know about this song is what I derived the lake, the between sun and moon, the earth being mostly water. So maybe that's the lake. That is the only thing. I have no idea what this song is about.
I like that.
I thought the lake just was the emptiness of space, the dark matter between the sun and the moon.
You know what?
What does that mean?
I don't know. If I knew what this song meant whatsoever, I'd be able to help out a lot more. Once again, it's a bunch of stuff, play on words, and here, look at me. My name is French. And
well, I can just say, Tim, for sure, thank God that that Shane has probably done a lot of research on this, and he can probably tell us why. Tim, could you ask Shane
yes,
to tell us what the song means to him?
I will, Jay, but first I'd like to point this out. When was the last time we hope and we're thankful that Shane has done a lot of research?
That would be never.
Right. So, okay.
Wow.
All right. I got you, Jay.
Just kidding.
Hey, Shane,
Not really.
I got a question for you. The lyrics to the song Between Sun and Moon by Rush from the Counterparts album.
Yes.
What do you think the lyrics mean?
I'm glad you asked, Tim. I'm very glad you asked. Which is what people say when they have to think about their answer. But I typed some stuff. I wrote it down
in a book
with the keyboard. You know what's funny is a few months ago, even a few months before we're recording this, because we're recording this a couple of months before it's going to come out, the whole time thing. Rush fans, the Ryan from Rush fans asked me kind of last minute, hey, can you come on and talk about Between Sun and Moon tonight? And even though I was like just getting home and had to pretty much walk through the door and log out of the computer, I was not going to say no because I was asked to be on Rush fans and I was seizing the opportunity. Had really no idea about this song, but we talked for a little bit before we started recording and all of a sudden it just started clicking, everything coming into place. So all of these brilliant things I'm going to tell you tonight to, like Paul Simon and some of the guys over at Rushman. So check out their fine show. But here's what I wrote.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry.
It's about the space between extremes. On the album Counterparts, it's talking about the two parts, the opposites of different areas. But this is the area between the counterparts. It's between places, between times, taking a moment between something that happens and reacting to it. And it reminds me of one other song in particular, Entre Nous, the Just Between Us song, where the lyrics are, the spaces in between leave room for you and I to grow. And I sort of think that this song is expanding upon that, about taking that moment between those extremes and enjoying that moment, enjoying now, like not waiting until next week for whatever you're waiting for next week and not worrying about last week, what you're glad is over, but right now while we're recording this episode.
So take the time that you have, but and the time that you have it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about traveling or, going to work, and this is more for Tim and I, because Jay, you work from home mostly, right? So you don't have what we in the rogue world like to call the commute.
Well, I have a commute.
You did. Tell us about your commute.
It is a matter of at least 50 feet from the bed to the office.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. But I mean, and I know that Tim and his job has a lot of, Tim has to get from like one place in the Metroplex across the Metroplex, and he's only got to get there pretty fast. Right. So it's part of his job, but in that case, he's missing a lot in between. And the same thing happens on a road trip, on a plane trip. If you're just worried about getting to your destination, you're going to miss all that in between. That's why I think a lot of times it's better to drive or take a train, because all of that in between, that getting there is part of the magic. That's where the good stuff can be if you let it happen.
It's kind of like about enjoying the moment. As like, for example, if I'm reading you correctly, for example, if you go see a Jack White concert, he makes you lock up your cell phone so that you can't be taking pictures and all that, because he's like, you're missing the show while you're trying to take pictures and film it.
You're taking yourself out of the moment so that you can take a picture and tell everyone how much you're enjoying this moment that you're taking yourself out of.
Yeah. So you yourself are not actually experiencing the moment. You're experiencing yourself trying to capture the moment that you will never actually be able to capture because you missed it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other in-betweens too. Like when something happens and you want to react to it, but if you can just stop and take a breath. And listen. I think I have that space between the action and the reaction. You can react a lot better.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tim, class. I see Tim raising your hand. Do you have a question, Tim?
I've got a little point to that. That number one, it's not exactly the same thing, but I love the point he's making. This comes from the lyrics from the Hold Your Fire album, Prime Mover, where he says, the point of the journey is not to arrive.
Yeah.
I believe it feels like we've had this discussion before, and it also brings me back to the song by a famous band. They haven't been around. They only did one album. They were a brilliant band back in the early 2000s, and they did this song, and one of the lyrics was, "It's not the road, it's the ride."
Oh,
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
Right.
wow. Yeah.
Right.
When-
Because if you're on that journey and you've got a destination, you got a point to get to.
Yeah.
But if all you're focused on is arriving, you miss out on everything that comes along on the journey. Almost to quote another famous person whose band has not been around for a long time, even though they had a lot more albums than one. I believe his name was a John Lennon. Life is what happens while you're making other plans.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
True. You know, and as I always like to say, and I don't know if I borrowed this phrase from someone, but every time you just need to take a little time to stop and make fun of the flowers.
Who was that?
Seems like there's somebody like, I want to say Steve Martin, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Dave Matthews Band had a song, "The Space Between." Kind of the same thing. Not nearly as well phrased as this one, but
I think it went like, "Hello."
I think he might have yodels a little bit. Oh, poor Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews.
No, maybe four of them. Maybe four, maybe five. Bartender, don't drink the water. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Favorite lines from Sun and Moon. Anyone? Class? Bueller?
Yes to yes. To yes.
You know what I like about that line?
Why the sun?
Why the sun? Why not the moon? You know what I like about that line? It's fun. It's a fun song. It's so
I like, "Some need to pray to the sun at high noon, need to howl at the midwinter moon, reborn and baptized in a moment of grace, just need a break from the headlong race." Take some time, man.
I had that as
Take
one of mine
shoes
too,
off.
Jay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, woo doggy.
Coincidence? Woo doggy.
I think so. Yes.
Doggy.
Woo doggy.
And it's, my notes on that were,
Woo doggy.
we spend so much time, kind of like what I said, we spend so much time getting to the next place, racing to the next destination or the goad. I don't know what that typo. I don't know what I was saying there. We focus on where we left and then on where we're going, when most of life is in between those two places. Life, happiness, reality is always in the present moment. And in my notes, I have, Jay, what was it that other brilliant lyricist said?
It's not the road, it's the ride.
Yeah.
No. That wasn't it.
Oh.
No. It was, "I'm too drunk to eat this chicken."
I think it was John Lennon who said, "Chicken."
I think it was it's not the road, it's the ride thing. I'm proud of that one. I
It's
like
that one. Who wrote that, by the way? Was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was you.
Was it me?
Our own Shane Seymour.
Your own Shane Seymour.
Between the Shane and the moon.
And then another favorite line I had, the gap between actor and act, the lens between wishes and fact, which is also the one that Tim mentioned earlier. This is taking a moment between reactions when a person does something you don't like, separating the act from that person, what that person did versus from the person. They may not be a bad person. Maybe they just did a bad thing, an accident, in a bad mood, in a rush. Don't
Rush.
base everything. What?
Rush.
Who said rush? Don't judge that person by one act. If they do it a lot, then then maybe they're a bad person. But hold off on those judgments.
I agree.
And I like bonfire lights in the mirrored sky, and the bonfire lights in the lake of sky. I like those lines.
I like that one line early on. It's when you're talking about kind of stopping down for a second, the silence between between whisper and shout. The moment to, okay, think about what you're going to say before you do it.
Yeah. You could do some damage, or you could make the situation better.
Right. Yeah.
Did that beep come through? Just got a text.
I heard the beep.
It was really loud. Wow. How that came through. That my ears was a fine place to penetrate with that sound because that was loud. See what I did there? I referenced the song of something that happened. Wow.
Penetration.
Start it. Well, all right. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. Oh yeah, the bonfire lights in the mirrored sky. I'm guessing that's just like stars, like the little twinkles between the sun and the moon, and there's a lot of space in between those.
A lot of space. Full of stars.
Yeah. Billions and billions. Wow. That's our little stroll through between sun and moon. Did you guys have anything else?
No, I did not. I thought I did, but I took a little time to think about it and I decided to no.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You took a little time. You waited for that space between the action and the reaction, between the whisper and the shout.
As it turned out, I had all the time I needed.
Well done, Jay. Well, glad to see that we're taking Neil's lyrics to heart. Well, that's what we think about between sun and moon. But you know what? Does that really matter? I don't think it matters. Who cares what we think? We want to know. We want to know what you think about between sun and moon. So email us 2112 at everyrushsong.com. Catch us on the social media at Every Rush Song. Tim, would you please?
Phoenix, thank you so much. Good night.
Our poses are the best.